Okay, before we start, I'm opening the first Kronos Group cohort, 10 business owners. That's it. There's a founder special for the people who get in front on this very first round. Who's it for? If you're running a real operation and you want to work through it with other owners alongside me, the link is in the show notes.
My highest documented was 396 pounds. I was big. I was always the biggest kid in the grade growing up. I was usually the second tallest and always the biggest by a mile. In Pop Warner football, played up a few grades always, to the point where I basically sized out by like seventh grade, and I had to wait till high school. And then when I got to high school, it played in my favor. I played football, did well, played in college, and high school I was freshman year 210. 240, 280, and then 305 was my senior year. Played college football 305. And then after
how tall are you?
6'2".
Okay.
And then after college, just kept eating at the same rate without any of the exercise, and just slowly started adding on more weight and more weight and more weight. Next thing you know, my body composition went from less and less muscle and more fat, and just got up to a point where it was becoming a problem. Started developing asthma. Had it as a kid, but not as bad as it had become. And it was just really unhealthy.
And so give us a time frame. How old are you now?
44. Just turned 44 a couple weeks ago.
And you started on losing the weight when?
My whole life. I mean, this run. Shit. Like 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago.
That seems about right. That seems about right. So you were what 2 years ago?
Probably 360.
360. And so you go post-college, 20 years, call it, up, down, but just steadily, generally getting heavier every time you would come back. Was there something 2 years ago that told you, I can't do this anymore?
I mean, if you go back even further than that, like 5 years, I knew it was a problem for ages. And I got into keto, and that would work really well. I'd lose 50 pounds, 40 pounds. I'd gain it back. I'd cheat on it, and then it would be off the rails for a few weeks. And there's just vicious cycle there. I ended up having a vertical sleeve gastrectomy, which is the where they slice your stomach. I had that maybe 5 years ago, 6 years ago. Ended up getting down to like 275, and then gained it back and just ate right through it. Never felt a lot of restriction like I was supposed to. And I knew at the time I shouldn't have done it, but I took the easy way out. I made that mistake. But you live and you learn. I'm glad I did it now, because I took that option off the table.
Yeah. Right.
I learned that lesson the hard way.
Right.
But I'd say I went through a divorce a couple of years ago. Had gotten down to probably around 300 at that point, gained some more weight back. But just knew I had to get healthier. I knew, I have a couple of young kids. I knew I needed to get healthier. There wasn't a specific thing in time, but it was a gradual. It was a lot of attempts. I mean, I always say that I'm very, very good at losing weight, but I'm world class at gaining weight. Like, if I have a very high personal fat threshold where I can just pack on, if I wanted to, I think I could be on like the 500 pounders. I just have that ability to pack on the pounds quickly.
And I think a lot of people find themselves, those pounds come back as hard as they are to lose them, man, they come back quick. And my story, I was in shape all of my life, and then I got a 40% block on my left ventricle that it turns out I was born with in my DNA. It sat dormant all those years. And in my early 40s, it popped up out of nowhere. And then I had, again, I broke my back when I was a kid and had an opioid addiction, all these other things, but I was always healthy playing basketball. And so for me, it didn't happen until later in life. So from my mid 40s until my early 50s, I had about a 6 or 7 year run where for me, I'm 6'4", I got to 308 pounds, and I was just gigantic. And I had that come into Jesus moment laying in a hospital bed, November 21st of 21, that said, man, I got to live for my unborn grandchildren, right? I ain't going out. I didn't come where I come from, do the things I did to go out like this, man. I gotta fight. So I kind of had that road to Damascus moment that said, that's enough. So mine was really crystal clear. Sounds like yours was just a combination of all of the failed attempts, ups and downs before, and you just got sick and tired of it. You want to be healthy and there for your kids.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. So what'd you do? You're 360 pounds. You got it 2 years
Yep.
ago. What'd you do?
I walk a ton. I started working out. I got onto TRT about 2.5 years ago, around that time frame, which helped tremendously because my testosterone was like 90,
Yep.
and 250 is bad. 90 is like, elderly woman. It's bad.
Yeah.
And it's the effect of carrying on a lot of weight, and the ups and downs, and food restriction, calorie restriction will play into that, and just generally not being healthy.
What
That
are you
helped.
walking around at now?
Right at this particular moment, 245. My lowest was 227.
Okay. What would you like to be?
So I want to get down to 225 to 215. I want visible abs. So I recently, the last 3 months, I've had 3 surgeries, 2 planned, 1 not planned. First was skin removal for my chest. Then the second one was skin removal for my stomach and my back. So going into the surgery, the second surgery I could see like my top abs, but I want to see the full thing. I want to be in that I just never had it before, and it's something I'm pushing really hard for. And that's call it vanity. I don't really give a shit. I'm chasing down. I want to be the best version of myself.
Yeah. I don't think it might be vanity. Vanity plays a part in it for sure, but I'm 222 on my way to 215, where I'm going to go hang out for the rest of my life. I've been healthy now for the last 4 years, but I put on 30 pounds of muscle over the last 4 years. And worth it came another 30 pounds off of what I had bottomed out on. But net of it all, I'm about 17% body fat. I got pretty good ab definition, but I'm working on it. But all I care about is 15%, 13 to 15% body fat. I'll grow from when I get to 215, I should be right about 14, 15% body fat. I'll grow from there. And if it goes above 215, if I go above 215 at 15% body fat, then I'll know I'm putting on fat or muscle, right? Depending. And I'll make that change, because I think that's the healthiest I can be. And my responsibility to my children and to myself and to my wife are to be as healthy as I can be. And that really is what drives me. So I'm not talking about 8% body fat. That's retarded. I don't think there's any sense. I'm 57 years old. There's value in having fat, right, on the body, 10, 12, 15%. And so for me, I'm going to go to 13, 14%. I'm a couple, 3, 4 points away from that now. And yes, with it comes the look and all of that for sure. But what really drives me is I've got some significant health issues relative to my heart. The best thing I can do is be as light as I can, as muscled as I can. And being muscled and building the body the way I have helps me not eat the garbage that I shouldn't eat. Now I've got years now of not eating the garbage. I'm over that for the. I feel really good about that. But it's so much work to fit into a shirt, and to look good in it, that you're like, man, I'm not eating that. That cost me, that's 2 days worth of 4 miles in 90-degree heat. I'm just not going to eat that. And that's how my brain works. The other thing too, and I don't know if you're at this point yet though, food for me though is a fuel. I have no relationship with food anymore. So there's no mental relationship. There's no emotional relationship. So if I have a tough day, I don't feel like I need to go eat brownies with ice cream on top of it and then caramel over the top of that, which I absolutely love and would like to go eat right now. But I don't feel the need to do it, right? And I'm happy going and eating my carnivore, whatever it happens to be, and that seems to satiate me. But again, food for me is fuel. And I look at fuel. I don't even say I'm hungry anymore. I say I need fuel. Like I wouldn't say the car is hungry, right? I say the car needs gas, and I'm feeding a machine.
I like it. Yeah. Agree. I'm not at that point yet because, you put me in front of a bowl of popcorn, I'll still house it. So I'm not there quite yet, but I'm working on it. But I do, you'd asked how I got there. A lot of it is eating the right foods for me, and then meal prepping and measuring out my food, and being accountable to a calorie goal. I weigh myself daily at night and in the morning just to see my fluctuations. I take progress photos. I hired a coach. I've hired 2 coaches. That helps a lot. I'm big on accountability. I've got a fitness coach. I've got a business coach. I believe in coaching. I think it works. And for me, I'm a creature of habit. I like to wake up at roughly the same time. I like to eat the same things. And if I can get into a routine, it helps.
Literally eat the same food every day.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, 90% of my diet is the food and has been for years now. I mean, I've eaten the same breakfast for 4 years, so I'm with you on that. So at 245, going to the gym every day, I think that I'm hyper competitive, right? You don't do the things that we've done and not be hyper competitive. But as I've gotten older and I was fat, I lost that, right? Because I was fighting that other organism sitting on top of me. And when now that it's gone and now I'm in this kind of shape, man, I'm better emotionally, spiritually, physically, and mentally. I just couldn't be sharper. I can't believe that I'm 57. I feel like I'm 37, and that's not me making that up. It's absolutely true. Uh, it- Tell us about that change from 360 to 244 and what it does for your brain.
Oh, 100%. I am dialed in. And work wise, I went back to church. I take my kids to church. Leading
Hang
by
on a minute.
example.
Let me dig into that a little bit. That's really interesting because I've always, I've been a believer my whole life. I haven't been in a church in 45 years, grew up in the church. Um, but when I lost the weight starting maybe 3 years ago, I lost the weight 4.5 years ago. Starting 3 years ago, all of a sudden, as I started to get in this kind of shape, in the last year in particular, I've been on this crusade. I can't find a church I can agree with, but I've been on this crusade to go look for that. And I think that comes from the mental clarity that I have now relative to where I am. So are we singing from the same hymn book?
Yeah.
On the
Yes. Yeah. Clarity just across the board, and just living by example and what that looks like, and just doing the right thing and being a good person and being a good example for my kids. Yeah. The difference mentally and doing what I say I'm going to do when I say I'm going to do it is very different now than it used to be. And that all comes from the discipline of eating the same things, working out, 5-6 days a week. Or I don't know how many days you do. I need the 5 or 6 days a week.
I go every day.
I love it. The amount of mental steam it just blows off. It's incredible. The hardest part recently was in the 10 weeks I was out of the gym from the surgeries, where I could not work out, and I didn't realize how much I leaned on working out to blow off stress. I did not think I leaned on it that much, and it was really impactful lesson to not take for granted the ability to get up and move your body, and be able to work out and blow off that steam. So, yeah, I don't know if I answered your question.
Yeah, no, this is what I want people to hear is just kind of where you were and where you're going and that sort of thing right there where you go to the gym. I blow up. Everything I've ever been told, I have proven wrong. So everything, all the propaganda I've been given to me my entire life. I was born in 1969, so the dawn of the advertising age. Everything I've been told relative to sunshine, relative to sunscreen, relative to wearing sunglasses, eating meat, eating fat, right? All of how to work out, how many days to work out, how hard you should go, how easy you should go, all of it. Right? How to become an entrepreneur. You got to have an education. I'm an idiot with no education at all. And yet I've done all of these things. Every single thing I've been told, I swear to God, by them turned out not to be true. And you're 6 days a week going to the gym. I go 7. This isn't a 1-up. I work on a 3 on, 1 day off. But my 1 day off is a minimum of 6 miles in the sauna. So that's my day off. And then I lift 3 days, and then I take 1 day off, and it's 6 miles in the sauna. So I never take a day off. I haven't had one in forever because I have to go to the gym. And they say, Jerry, that's not enough recovery. And I go,
it's working for me. Yeah.
What are you talking about? I don't understand. I've never had more energy and I know what to do with, right? It's 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the afternoon almost. I did my 4 miles at 6:30 this morning. I lifted with my son. I did my sauna. I did my cold plunge. I had a couple of doctor's appointments. I was working. Now I'm talking to you. I'm going to go play pool tonight till midnight, and I'll get up tomorrow morning at 6:30 and go do it all over again. I don't know what you people are talking about. I think entrepreneurs are like this too, Ed. I think I think you tell me, I met with a couple yesterday, as a matter of fact, young couple getting into the entrepreneurial game. I said, y'all got to get in shape. You got to go do something for your health, because the habits that I have for my health have benefited me tremendously in my business. If I had applied the business habits that I had throughout the years to my health in my 40s, when my health went south, I would never have gotten as fat as I did and been as sick as I was. So I think that if you can master one, take those disciplines over there, because they'll help you master the other one. Would you agree with that?
100%. 100% agree with it. And, I would also say that there's something about showing up in a room in shape. People look at you differently. I can see how people look at me now versus how they used to look at me, and it's very different. I'm doing the best I've done in my career, and I can't help but think that action breeds success, and I think working out's part of that. I really do.
Yeah. It's just so good. I'm so glad you said that. This is a regular conversation for me. I feel foolish saying it, but I'm getting over feeling foolish, because it's true. I did my research, and you walk in again. You're a big guy. I'm a big guy. But if I walk in at 300 pounds, they'd see a big fat guy. I walk in like this, right? There's this thing about, shaking hands. I teach everybody, you give a good, strong handshake. And when you're shaking the hand of another dude and he doesn't bring his handshake and he catches that you did, you have an advantage. You're selling him something, or you're just there having a conversation with him. But you have an advantage, right? It's ingrained in us. Well, even before you get that, when you walk in the room and the dudes are like, what the hell is that? And why does he look like that? 100% you now have an advantage, because them dudes know that guy ain't playing, because you don't look like that without being serious. So I want to go talk to him. I want to listen to him. I want to hear what he has to say, because that's something else. Same thing as, you're driving in a Lamborghini. It's like, what did that dude do? He knows something I don't know. He's got some kind of ability that I don't have. I need to cozy up to that guy and see what's going on. I'm glad you said that, because this is probably the first time I'm saying this live, but I don't care. I build my workouts are built so that I look good in a t-shirt for when I'm talking to a crowd.
Mm-hmm.
Plain and simple.
This is my dress. It's backwards hat, and it's t-shirts and or SPF fishing shirts I wear out walking. Like, this is what I wear. I'm same boat.
Right.
Same.
Right. And it gets attention. Since I have gotten to this point, which is the best shape of my life, my opportunities to sell business has gone up exponentially. I have more people talking to me than probably at any point in my life. At this point in my life, I was just telling this to a couple of my buddies yesterday. And so it's really interesting how that change, again, affects me outwardly, but still in here. I think I carry myself differently than I did. I mean, physically, obviously, but more mentally, right? I hated being fat, and I knew I was fat. And then, of course, I'd go drink more Mountain Dew.
Mm-hmm. The favorite thing that I own, it's actually technically rented, but you know what it is? It's the calluses on my hands from working out.
Yes.
And it's just, I love them. I sit there and I'll play with them. I just love them. I know how hard it took. I know what it took to get them. And when they went away for the 10, 11 weeks where I wasn't able to work out, I was like, shit, I don't have them anymore. I've had these things for a couple of years now. I got to get them back. And for me, it's just, it's my own little personal signal of discipline and being consistent. I love having them.